Okay, hello again. So we are doing the problems on test cross this time. So this is for the solutions for practice problem number 5 and number 6 on test cross. Okay, so let's start with number 5. Let me read the question again. Well, let me read the question. Use a Punnett square to illustrate test crosses to determine whether a black male guinea pig is homozygous or heterozygous black. The black coat is produced by the dominant allele big B, while the brown coat is produced by the recessive allele small b. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin? Anong nakadefine? Na we're looking at coat color. At ang sabi ay ang dominant allele ay for the black coat. Okay. And the recessive allele, small b, is for the brown coat. Okay. And use a Punnett square to illustrate test crosses. Okay. So, a black male guinea pig. So, we have a male who is black. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Kapag black, we know that he has at least one allele for the dominant trait, which is black. Okay? We're not sure what the second allele is. That is why we're doing a test cross. Okay? So, reminder lang, a test cross is used when you have an individual of unknown genotype. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang phenotype niya ay yung dominant na trait. Okay? Kasi kung may recessive trait naman, yun yung ina-exhibit ni individual, known na yung genotype niya, di ba? Kasi parang nga, alam ko pa ulit-ulit, pero ito yung isa sa mga tips. Kapag may recessive trait si individual, ibig sabihin nun, yung genotype niya ay homozygous recessive. Okay? Hindi niya ma-exhibit yun otherwise kasi. Okay? So, when you see an individual who exhibits the dominant phenotype, though, you can't say for sure, unless alam mo yung ancestry niya, you can't say for sure whether he's homozygous or heterozygous. And that is why we do the Punnett square. So, in this case, big B and then blank for the second allele because we don't know what it is. And remember, when you do a test cross, you have to mate it with an individual possessing the recessive trait. So, kailangan ay yung homozygous recessive genotype. Yun yung mate niya. Okay? So, when we do the test cross, we're predicting an impossible results, we're going to do 2. Okay? So, we have the 2 possibilities that the male black guinea pig is homozygous for the dominant trait. Okay? We also have the possibility that it's heterozygous. Okay? So, we can do 2 Punnett squares, okay, for each possibility. Okay. And for both, you cross it against, diba, the female who is brown. Exhibits the recessive trait. Okay? So, ano yung gametes ni parents? Okay? On this side, let's see, put the male here on the left. Homozygous siya for big B, so that's the only type of gamete na pwede niya i-produce. Okay? While the female, yung mate niya, produces small b gametes. Okay? So, when you combine those, all of the offspring will have the heterozygous genotype. Okay? Which means that it will exhibit the dominant phenotype. So, this would be 100% dominant, which in this case, it will possess the black coat. Okay? So, this is the first scenario, the possibility. Yung pangalawa, kung heterozygous naman si tatay, ano mangyayari? Okay? If you have a parent with a heterozygous genotype again, you produce two different types of gametes. One half carrying the dominant allele, the other half will carry the recessive allele. And then you cross that against a female who is homozygous recessive, so small b, we will get the outcome of this cross. Okay, so you pair up those alleles coming from the gametes of the mother and the father, and here we get what? This is heterozygous. Yung big B, small b, half of the offspring will be big B, small b, which also tells us that in terms of the phenotype, okay, itong half na to ay black, yung coat. Tapos, ito naman sa baba, small b, recessive genotype, homozygous recessive. So, recessive din yung phenotype. So, 50% brown. Okay? So, if our male black guinea pig were homozygous dominant, then if all of the offspring produced in the test cross are black, then the male is homozygous dominant. Okay? If you have offspring that has the brown coat, kahit isa lang, kahit hindi 50%, basta may isang lumabas doon sa test cross mo na may recessive trait, ibig sabihin na si tatay, meron siya nung recessive allele na ibibigay. Okay? So, heterozygous siya. So, ito yung pag-answer sa number 5. Okay. Number 6. So, 2 questions lang naman tong test cross. Okay? So, let's proceed with number 6. Assume that 50% of 10,000 pea plant offspring are short. So, we have 10,000 pea plants. Okay. 50% are short. Okay. So, it's safe to assume that the other 50% is the other trait, which is tall. Okay. Use a Punnett square to show the probable genotypes of the parents and the offspring. Let T stand for the dominant allele. In this case, we know that height in the garden P, tall is dominant over short. Small p for shortness or yung dwarf na trait. Okay? Okay. Now, you can try it any which way you like. Pero nga, pag nag-test cross ka, diba? Basta lumabas si recessive allele, ibig sabihin, heterozygous yung parent mo na unknown. Okay? So, hindi naman binigay sa atin, hindi kinuwento sa atin kung ano yung parents, ano yung traits nila. Okay? But, ito, after teaching genetics and also taking up genetics in high school and college, you'll learn na, yun nga, may specific na cross lang na magpo-produce ng ganitong result. That one half have the recessive trait and the other half has the dominant trait, and that will only result from a cross between a heterozygous dominant parent with a homozygous recessive parent. Yan lang yung cross na magpo-produce ng one dominant is to one recessive. Okay? So, ano yan? Magandang maalala. That's the only cross that produces that. Okay? So, what will happen now? We can guess that these are the genotypes of our parents. Okay? And we can do our cross. Right? And this gives us 2 out of 4 or 50% tall, which is the dominant trait, and then 50% short, which is the recessive trait. Okay? So, ano kayong tanong? Use a Punnett square to show the probable genotypes of the parents and the offspring. Okay, so, Our parents are, ito, heterozygous, dominant, homozygous, recessive. And then, yung genotypes ng offspring ay ganun din. May heterozygous na tol, tapos may homozygous na siya. Okay? So, these are the two problems under test cross. I will stop here and then record a different video for the dihybrid cross kasi medyo mahaba yan. Okay? So, I'll see you again in a bit.